Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different?
My freedom was forfeit long ago.
Do you fear death? Do you fear the dark abyss? Hello everyone and welcome to the new week's villain discussion hosted by none other than Wall of Shadows. Thank you everyone. Okay, so with the first quote I said at the beginning of the video, you already know which kind of villain I'm going to talk about. Is from the Pirates of the Caribbean universe, and of course, no, it's not Hector Barbosa, it's not Cutler Brackett, it's not Blackbeard, no. We're gonna leave these villains, from some other time. This time I'm gonna talk about, for me, one of the most badass villains, not only the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but also of all time, in my top 10, Davy Jones himself. One who doesn't know that Davy Jones was loosely based on an old seaman's legend, Davy Jones' Locker, which actually was in the seaman's legend was some kind of a undersea cemetery for all sailors when they die at sea. Like their soul will be somehow transported, in this Davy Jones' Locker, in a short terms. Also, if anyone who never watched Pirates of the Caribbean movie, he's the main antagonist of the second movie, Dead Man's Chest, and the secondary one in At World's End, the third movie. Also, I remember he was also only given mention in the first movie, Curse of the Black Pearl, but that's a different story. And for anyone who doesn't know that, he was played by for me, one of the most greatest British actors I've ever seen, Bill Nighy, who actually also played Victor in the Underworld film series and Rattlesnake Jake in Rango, again with Johnny Depp. Which was kind of funny to see the reunion. I mean, it was kind of marvelous. So, basically, Davy Jones is, for me, one of the most greatest, not only as a pirate villain, where actually he's a former pirate, but you get the idea. Supernatural pirate and badass villains that I ever seen. I mean, his design, in the way how he talks, his sinister voice. I also love his Irish accent, which actually for people who doesn't know that, Davy Jones is from Ireland. He's not a Dutchman like his own shit. Which kind of is an irony, but whatever. You get the idea. So, we're talking about his occupation. Okay, he's the captain of the Flying Dutchman. Claimer of souls, because, in the movies, he has this, mission that every single sailor or whoever dies at sea, he took their souls and bring it to Davy Jones' locker. That was, his work, his mission. Also, like I said, when we talk about power skills, near immortality, because his greatest weaknesses was the thing he did at the first place, which was take from his chest, his heart, put him in literally a chest, and hide it in an island known as Isla Cruces. But that's why it's the explanation what I said, near immortality, because still whoever finds his heart, he can easily stab it, and Davy Jones, wherever he is, he will sense this pain and die. Like he did, in the third movie, and when his body, falling into the maelstrom. I always liked villains when they fall to their death. I always liked that. But his death was really dramatic and tragic, because the beginning, why he became so cruel, sadistic, and evil, and mostly, I can even say, when we talk about the type of villain, a tragic villain, because whatever happened to him, it all began because his heart was broken. First time was not literally. First time was psychologically. When I talk about, as his feelings, because all of this will happen to him. His transformation and everything was all about love, because he's naturally he's the catch when he became this claimer of souls was 10 years at sea and 1 day at shore. And that day, he like the legend said, he was always spent with his hidden god Calypso, which actually, in the Greek mythology, I remember she was a nymph or something like that. A sorcerer or something like that, because she never was a god. Whatever. So, and one day, of course, she wasn't at the shore, and he went crazy, and he began to destroy everything that gets in his way. Because at the beginning, the main rule was that the seaman and everyone dies at sea, literally not by his hand, but by accident, by storm, by some other attack, whatever. And he get their souls. But after he was heartbroken, he took the weight. He took all the everyone. Fuck. he like, he not only let, he didn't just, let anyone like, die like normally, but he also made them die when he attacked them with his ship and his crew. So in that sort of way, that was the explanation why he was one step by another transformed into a monster. Like, his head of an octopus, hand of a crab, and of course, other leg of a crab. And in short terms, he became a supernatural character and of course a fishman. Okay, so also, when we talk about his power and skills, also his swordsmanship. I mean, even he is a supernatural villain and a former pirate. I mean, in the third movie, he really proved himself as a great skilled swordsmanship. I mean, he defeated Jack Sparrow, he defeated Elizabeth Swann, he defeated, Bootstrap Bill. I mean, he is father of William Turner, and also he defeated Will Turner. I mean, he is, for me, of all the swordsmen I ever seen in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I mean, he is the most skilled one. There's no wonder why normal people is afraid of him. And why Barbossa would say that Jack Sparrow cannot defeat Jones alone. Because, not only that he is near immortal and he has like this horrible, like, fisherman crew, but also, his own skills and strength. I mean, okay, his strength is not like, higher strength and everything. His strength is a normal human strength, even if he's not a human, whatever. But his swordsmanship is, I can really say he's skilled and he knows what he's doing. Really, literally. Also, when we talk about powers and skills, control of the Flying Dutchman, of course, as a captain and its crew. And of course, control over the Kraken. Because like every single, villain, Davy Jones is one of those type of villains who always say like there's some kind of gigantic, or their own creation, or some other beast as their own pets, so they can do whatever he wants. For example, Davy Jones, every single time, he's quartermaster, with his whip, he's torturing his crew when they just go in circle, round and round and round, and digging up some kind of a stick, whatever, with at the beginning, the symbol of the Kraken, and when this thing forcefully goes down, he just, with, the bottom of the ship, he just leaves this some kind of a waves, some kind of, let's say, alarm, so the Kraken can hear and goes to that ship that Davy Jones targeted, which actually I can say, really, scary, and he won't be on that ship when the Kraken will come, or has come. Well, until, the third movie when Cutler Beckett ordered him to kill his pet. Unfortunately, yeah. So, they basically, the other thing, so when I talk about his hobby, normally as a pirate, it's sailing. Then we have war, murder, making deals, and destruction. We're talking about making deals because Davy Jones is also that is one of his specialities. Davy Jones is like the devil. He makes deals, for example, for Jack Sparrow when he did, if you want to let him live, he needs to give him 100 souls in 3 days. Just like I said, just like a devil, he always wants to make deals when we talk about souls. And also, when I say, Davy Jones, was known for, for his sadistic ways, proud, cruel, and hateful. Jones, was like a creature of malice. Perhaps, for example, like a nihilist, as a result of, of Calypso's pursued betrayal. The only thing he seemed to enjoy was to ensure the lives of those around him was miserable and joyless as his own. So in the short words, he was like, if I must suffer, everyone will suffer. And that is also a selfish crap thing. When I talk about villains. Also, he mistreated his own crew as well, believing that all humans should be suffer through the afterlife, with much pain, because this is backed up by his own proclamation, in the second movie. Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different? How they, because I know a lot of people will say they suffer in the real life, so in the afterlife should be a lot more better. But for Davy Jones, no. Either way, if they suffer through the afterlife, through their own life, they should suffer the same thing or worse in the afterlife. So where that's all about selfish crap. Because, okay, we're talking about type of villain, like I said, he's immortal, fallen pirate, aquatic, deal maker, and like I said before, a tragic villain. When we talk about his own goals, the first one, the main one, is protect his heart. claim dead souls, and of course kill Jack Sparrow. Because like because if you ever read Pirates of the Caribbean comics, Jack Sparrow made a deal with him since the time when Jack Sparrow gave him the watch to Davy Jones, which actually I don't actually remember what kind of issue was of Pirates of the Caribbean, but I actually remember, and also explaining how Jack Sparrow ever made for the first time made deal with him. So like I said, aquatic, yes, fishman. Immortal, yes, because like after this heartbreaking thing and everything, he took over and he cut off his heart, put him in a chest, and like I said, he hid in Isla Cruces, and that way he became immortal. But I'm talking about the immortal, like I said, near immortality, because still his heart is his greatest weakness. Because like the legend said, whoever controls the heart controls Davy Jones and the Flying Dutchman, which also literally controls the sea, because somehow he's self-proclaimed master of the sea. Because a lot of people also proclaim him like a demon, a monster, guardian, whatever. But in the short as we're talking about his past, he was just a normal Irish, pirate, who sailed the seas and everything. Also in the beginning he was a pirate lord at the first. I think it was the first brother in court. Yeah, the first time when Calypso was bound to her human body. And that was when Davy Jones betrayed her. So in the same way he thinks that she betrayed him. So in some terms, why he bound her was now we're even. Now we're 1-1. Now we're even. But actually that was really puzzled for me, because at the beginning in the movie, when you see the movie, you can see Davy Jones is the real bastard. The one who is who has to be blamed for everything, because the only thing what he ever liked after he was betrayed, after he truly became evil and tyrannical, the only thing what he cared about was death, chaos, destruction, and wars. That's the only thing he ever cared. And also he never actually cared, if he brings souls to Davy Jones' locker or not. And like I said, his main rule was to take the souls, not killing them, and then take them to put Davy Jones' locker. And that's the reason why he was transformed into a fishman. But the other thing I have to say about Davy Jones is, the one thing I also liked about him is that the design of Davy Jones is somehow very similar to Chitul, which actually, that's why Davy Jones amuses me. And also, his fondness, of playing the organ, that thing, has been reflected among many other villains on TV, series, video games, movies, such as, for example, Lord of Fear, if you know it. I mean, Davy Jones also sometimes, I know that sometimes for people thought to be the main antagonist in the third film, but however, he was secondary, because the main one was Lord Cutler Beckett, because he was hired by him and everything. But and also, like I said, when we talk about the organ, that's one of the other things I really love, because for example, the second movie, there was a storm, they were sailing and everything, and there you see him in the cabin, dark, with his with his tentacles, playing on the organ, seeing this little necklace, the one that had Calypso, and one of them had Davy Jones, which actually I think that was the one that Davy Jones has, because I don't know the way, I don't actually remember how they were, but whatever. The tentacles, he played with the organs and enjoying with the music, getting through the pain, of being betrayed, and that pain, and also causing this love that he had for Calypso, and feeling of being betrayed. I know that a lot of people, I know that they're saying that a lot of people, when you have something that that hurts you, in your soul and everything, that you need something, to let it go. And for Davy Jones was destroying enemies, and of course playing with his dear organ, which actually for me was really kind of creepy, but also very intimidating, literally. Also, when we talk about the Flying Dutchman, I realized design. I like of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I much more like the design of his own ship than the real one, as a ghost ship. I mean the design, this monstrous, and with all the seagrass, and his crew as fishermen. I mean, really intimidating, sadistic, terrifying, badass, and and the nose of the Flying Dutchman, there's something about mouth, with like sharp teeth, that was one of the most greatest things about this ship. The other thing is what I really like, is at the beginning, like every single ship had cannons, but Davy Jones, he had triple cannons, like Gatling gun, just going around and around, so round and round. Every single time that this triple gun fired, changed position, which actually also is what makes me love the Flying Dutchman, because he's also in weapons he's prepared. But so that's one of the reasons why I like Davy Jones. And also I like Davy Jones mostly because he's his ship is like a submarine. Because every single time when they try to hide with their own enemies, they go underwater. Or how Davy Jones say, and now down. I mean, and also one of the funny things is that one of his in the way how he helped with his tentacles. Because also not only in the movie, his tentacles help him choke Mercer, the servant of Cutler Becker, which actually was really kind of scary and disgusting, but awesome. But awesome in the way how he choked him, with his tentacle going through his mouth, then to his nose, and trying to choke him. Okay, that was really sadistic, dark, and badass killing, for my opinion. And the other thing is, with his tentacles, he helps his own, try to keep safe his own key, which actually was really kind of funny. The scene when Will Turner tried to take the key, and for him it was very kind of difficult, trying to get him out with, from the tentacles. And the other thing what I also like from the tentacles is when you see, when the ship goes down in the second movie, Davy Jones, with his tentacles, he's he's taken over by his hat, so the hat will not perish, or should I say flew away, when they go down, which actually was really kind of funny to see that. But as Davy Jones, like I said, as Davy Jones as the villain, he is badass. I mean, his history is not new. A lot of villains that I know were also became villain by betrayed by their own true love, or for example like their own death, or they betrayed them, or their own loves killed them. As example. And we're talking about Davy Jones. He was betrayed. Well, that's in the way how he thinks. He was betrayed, by Calypso. Well, we will talk about that, and that was actually, like I said, his history was really dramatic, in the way, like his beginning. Because, like I said, at the beginning, like Tia Dalma said, he was many things, but never cruel. But after he was betrayed, like he said, he became cruel, sadistic, black sense of humor, tyrannical, cruel, selfish, and also proud. Proud, I am the sea, I control the sea, I am the lord of the, all the sea. Technically, he's the master of the sea. That's why I say he's proud. He's proud of himself, he's proud of his abilities, he's proud to he cannot die in his swordsmanship and everything. But also, when I talk about his downfall actually was also in the movie, I also see that he's also arrogant. When I talk about, in the movie, when I see him. And also, oh shit, no, sorry, now I remember, he didn't have this Irish accent, he was Scottish, sorry. Davy Jones was Scottish, not Irish, my bad. And, which actually is far more better. Well, like I said, Davy Jones is one of the, Davy Jones is one of the type of villains, after what happened to them in their past, especially when I talk about his true love, and they have, and they put in their heads, they're psychologically, if I have suffered, everyone should suffer. If I'm not happy, no one will be happy. You get the idea. And that's also is one of the part when I said he's arrogant, and also very selfish, crap bastard. When I talk about Davy Jones, and that's why I know. That's why I love him. He had this dramatic ending and past and flashback. Or should I say, past. The design, his personality, his Scottish accent, and also, he also had this morality. Also, in the movie, the only way I can see that he was compassion, or should I say, that proved that he still has some soul left in his body was, you know, when he saw like the necklace, you know, listening to the music, and he was like dropping one tear. But after, you know, he saw this tear, he already turned to the good old Davy Jones we know, which actually, you know, was really kind of cool to see. So I mean, Davy Jones, like I said, he's a great villain. Also, you know, like, he's very proud, you know, and also he's that kind of type of villain who doesn't like to be controlled, doesn't like to be a slave or a servant, because every single time he sees the opportunity, he will do whatever it takes, like he did in the movie, to take over the Flying Dutchman. Which also, when we talk about the Flying Dutchman, we talk about his crew. His crew is also very loyal to him. Very loyal to him, even if he's a complete bastard, you know, to make them, you know, being, like, you know, to live a selfish life. Only because like Davy Jones feels that way. And when we talk about, you know, like I said, as categories as a villain, you know, sea monster, immortal, hybrids, tragic villain, pirate, mutated villain, in love villain, like collector of souls, swordsman, leader, fearmongers, mass murderer, deal makers, misanthropes, betrayed villain. I mean, and the list goes on and on. Because I don't really have the time to tell all the list, but you get the idea. I mean, for me, like I said, Davy, when I talk about the points, I will say it right away. When I talk about 1 to 10, Davy Jones is a spectacular villain. It really is. But he's not 10 out of 10. No, because his downfall, like I said, was his own self-confidence, his arrogance, and naturally his heart. Literally. So, I mean, he still have too much to learn, but as a villain, you know, he's far more better of all the pirate villains I ever saw. Even much more better than Captain Hook. Even in Disney, he's just a joke. But you get the idea. So I will give him a fair enough 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That's fair enough for a villain like Davy Jones. Fair enough. Really fair enough. So, like I said, I really like Davy Jones. I really like his personality. I really like his sinister talking, you know, thinking, and his crew and the ship. I really liked him as a villain. I really quite enjoy him, and I really kind of sad to see him die at the end, because once, you know, I see a villain who is perfect and I love him, it's really sad to see him die. For me, it's really sad, even if he deserves it. But however, you know, but still, in a few, only at the end, I only wish to say, still, I believe there is still some kind of goodness left in him, because no matter how much evil you are, you're gonna all villains, they are always gonna have a little bit of their souls, their good side inside them. The only thing that matters is how much is buried deeper in your soul or in your body, whatever. And that's how, you know, because like I said, only in the movie I also seen a few times, you know, when he proves that he still has some goodness inside him, which also even Calypso believed. So the only thing also at the end I wish to say is, when I talk about his past, I mean, I actually don't know, because, well, Davy Jones believed he betrayed her, and that's why he betrayed her, so he wants to be even with her. And also, you know, like, yeah, also, I mean, so I don't know, I mean, because he said when we could be together again, you weren't there. You know, and he clipped with his necklace, and like, why she wasn't there, and like, it's my nature. So I don't know, maybe she forgot, or maybe she was somewhere else. I mean, I don't know. Really, I don't know. But somehow I agree with Davy Jones. She betrayed him first, or that's in the way how he thinks, because like you said, she pretended to love me. She betrayed me. That's how he said. So I don't know, but I have to say that his past is very dramatic, and the villain's dramatic past. That's one of the categories why I love villains, because. Yeah, that's the way I see it. I like dramatic past. Not too much, and not for all villains, but few, I like them. And one of them is Davy Jones. So, here I am done. Rate the video, comment, subscribe, give me 5 seconds and what your personal feelings about Davy Jones as a character. What do you think about his personality? Think him as a villain, and also, if you have your own personal villains, in the comment section down below, just give me the name, and I will discuss it for you. Drop a like, I appreciate it. Peace everyone. Have an awesome rest of the day.